Welcome to Pink Mechanics. Today I'm going to show you how to remove and install an ignition coil pack. I will be using my car, which is a Dodge Neon SE. And I will also be using my handy dandy Haynes book. Now this you can buy at any auto parts store, AutoZone. This can run you about $10 to $20 depending on where you go. Now this manual is like a Bible for mechanics. If you don't know much about a car, because they're so different, each type is a different car. My car, the Dodge Neon, it has the ignition coil pack right there sitting pretty right in front of the engine. Some other coil packs may have it underneath, behind, or further in front. It depends on which car you have. So this is why it is a must-have for mechanics, because depending on the car that you're working on, it can be pretty tricky to locate things and find out where they are. Plus, if you're a beginner, this book will help you to remove the ignition coil pack and install it. Of course, you'll need your handy dandy Haynes manual. Now next, you probably need a bottle of water. Of course, you're gonna need your towel, just in case things get a little messy. Like that water I gotta clean up now. And of course, your toolbox. Very important. Can't do anything without tools, right? Last but not least, you'll of course need, that I got for my car. You can get your parts at Advanced Auto Parts. You can get them at AutoZone. You can even get them online at Amazon.com, PartsGeek.com. I got mines on eBay for about $17 and some change, no more than $18, which is a really good find because normally this part runs about $80 to $100. Now, when eBay gave it to me, it came in this little tiny box, just one little label on the side, of course priority mail, and I will take it out for you guys and show you. Okay, so this is an up-close look at the ignition coil pack. Notice the holes. They are for mounting the ignition coil pack on the engine. Also, notice the numbers on top. These numbers are very important, and it is important not to get them mixed up. We have 1, 4, 2, and 3. Don't get confused. You'll figure out why they put it like that later on. Notice the brass tips. We call them towers. They're very important too. They connect to the spark plugs. Now, if you want to check your ignition coil pack to see if it's damaged, you can use an ohm meter. You can find that anywhere. All right, YouTube, let's get cooking. So as you can see here, I have my tools all out and ready to go. Now as you can see, I already removed the battery. Yuck, look at that. Oh my gosh. So now I'm going to remove the first spark plug connector from the first terminal and go along. This right here is the electrical terminal to the ignition. Now this must be removed as well in order to properly remove your ignition coil pack. Now that I have all the connections disconnected, now it's time to unmount the actual ignition coil pack. For this, I'll be using my handy dandy ratchet. and of course a 10mm socket. So I'll just connect my socket like so. And begin to dismount the ignition coil pack. Now, as you can see, I've already removed the ignition coil pack from the engine. It gave me a lot of work, but I finally got it off. Some of the bolts were actually rusted into the engine well, so it's very difficult. I needed a lot of WD-40, and I have to do a patchwork with the actual threads. But all in all, it came off, and it'll be reassembled pretty easily. As you can see now, the new ignition coil pack is on the engine, and the bolts are tightened down. If you want to know how tight to tighten it, you could check your Haynes manual. However, it's really simple. You just tighten it down to where it can't move anymore, basically. You don't want to break your threads, but you do want to have it tight enough to where it won't maneuver around. Now I will connect the spark plugs back to the ignition coil and the electrical connector, and then it's done. So this part is really easy. I'm just going to connect the proper spark plug connector to the actual terminal. Now this is really easy since I showed you guys before. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4.